The message arrives not through diplomatic backchannels, but with the cold, hard steel of naval destroyers. As American carrier strike groups steam toward the Persian Gulf, Beijing issues its starkest warning yet. Chinese warships, flying the five-star red flag, take up positions near the Strait of Hormuz, not as a drill, but as a declaration. The era of unquestioned American military dominance is being challenged, right here, right now. The world holds its breath as the two most powerful nations stare each other down over Iran. This is not a regional squabble, it's a seismic shift in global power. For decades, the US Navy guaranteed the free flow of oil through the Gulf. China's move shatters that guarantee. The crisis is no longer just about Iran, it's about who writes the rules for the 21st century. Every option for Washington is fraught. Press forward and risk direct conflict with China, or back down and signal the end of American primacy. The clang of steel hulls in the Gulf marks the end of the unipolar moment. The decisions made now will define a new, more dangerous global order. Power is contested, alliances are shifting, and the risk of great power conflict is terrifyingly real. To understand this confrontation, you must understand Iran. Iran is not just another country, it's a civilizational state, a regional powerhouse, and a geographical linchpin. It sits atop vast oil and gas reserves, making it critical to the world's energy supply. The Strait of Hormuz, bordering Iran, is the world's most important oil choke point. 1/5 of global oil passes through it daily. For the US, keeping this waterway open is vital. For China, securing access is non-negotiable. Iran's influence stretches from the Levant to Central Asia, projecting power through proxies and alliances. For Washington, Iran is a destabilizer. For Beijing, it's a strategic partner and a key node in the Belt and Road Initiative. This fundamental difference in perspective has set the stage for crisis. Iran is the chessboard for a new great game between the US and China. The opening moves have been dangerously bold. The stakes could not be higher. China's move in the Gulf is the result of years of strategy, weaving Iran into its economic and strategic orbit. As Washington isolated Tehran with sanctions, Beijing became Iran's largest trading partner and economic lifeline. The partnership is designed to be sanction-proof, with oil traded outside the US dollar system, undermining American financial leverage. A 25-year, $400 billion agreement cements Chinese investment in Iranian infrastructure for discounted oil. The ties are increasingly military. China supplies Iran with advanced missiles, drones, and cyber capabilities. Joint exercises and intelligence sharing create a level of military cooperation that alarms the Pentagon. By arming Iran, China raises the cost of any US military action, turning Iran into a porcupine bristling with defenses. Iran gains a powerful patron. China secures energy and a strategic foothold in the Middle East. The presence of Chinese warships is the military face of this deep alliance. Beijing is defending its investment and its vision for a new world order. The US can no longer act without considering China's response. The balance of power is shifting. The American president faces a decision that will define the nation's future. The original plan, a limited strike on Iran to reassert US deterrence. But with Chinese warships present, the risk is now a direct clash with another nuclear superpower. Option 1. Proceed with the strike, risking catastrophic escalation if Chinese assets are hit. Option 2. Stand down avoiding war, but signaling US deterrence is broken and allies can't rely on American power. Option 3. Impose a naval blockade, an act of war that China, dependent on Iranian oil, would almost certainly challenge. Any miscalculation could trigger a firefight and spiral into world war. Washington is trapped, with no good choices left. The world watches as the ultimate game of chicken unfolds. The credibility of the US alliance system hangs in the balance. Allies may hedge, adversaries may be emboldened, the stakes, global stability, American leadership, and the risk of catastrophic conflict. The margin for error is razor thin. The world has entered a new era of peril. The first shots of this conflict are fired not by cannons, but by algorithms on trading floors. The threat of war in the Gulf sends oil prices skyrocketing. $150, even $200 a barrel. For Americans, this means gas prices double or triple overnight, driving up the cost of everything. Inflation surges, eroding wages and savings. The stock market crashes, wiping out trillions in wealth and devastating retirement accounts. Global supply chains freeze, companies from Apple to Walmart face chaos. International trade grinds to a halt, businesses collapse, layoffs soar. The economic shock is swift and brutal, likely triggering a global recession worse than 2008. A geopolitical crisis anywhere is now an economic crisis everywhere. Ordinary families pay the price for great power rivalry. This crisis reveals a new global alignment: China, Russia, and Iran, united against the US-led order. China brings economic might, Russia military power, Iran strategic location. This is not NATO. It's a pragmatic partnership to resist American influence and sanctions. Their goal, a world safe for authoritarianism, free from US interference. Economically, they're building an alternative system, trading in their own currencies, bypassing the dollar, and developing new payment networks. This de-dollarization threatens the core of US global power. The bloc seeks to attract other dissatisfied nations, expanding its reach across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Organizations like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS Plus become frameworks for this new order. The Iran crisis accelerates this fragmentation, forcing countries to choose sides. The world is splitting into rival camps, each with its own systems and alliances. A new, more contentious era has dawned, In this new era, the decisive battles are economic and technological, not military. The US would try to cut China off from the global dollar system, the nuclear option of financial warfare. China could retaliate by dumping US Treasury bonds or restricting rare earth exports, crippling key American industries. Economic war spills into cyberspace. Power grids, financial networks, and infrastructure become targets for cyber attacks. The digital battlefield is shadowy, deniable, and potentially devastating. The ultimate prize dominance in AI, quantum computing, and semiconductors. The US tightens export controls, China races for tech self-sufficiency. The world splits into two incompatible tech spheres, a new silicon curtain. Every nation must choose a side. This relentless economic and tech war will shape daily life for all Americans. The front lines are everywhere. As tensions peak in the Gulf, China could open a second front, Taiwan. Not a full invasion but a blockade or seizure of outlying islands, sending a clear message to Washington: escalate in the Gulf, and we'll escalate in the Pacific. The US faces an impossible dilemma: defend Taiwan and risk a two-front crisis, or back down and shatter its credibility in Asia. China uses Taiwan as the ultimate bargaining chip, offering de-escalation in exchange for US retreat over Iran. America's allies, Japan, South Korea, Australia, watch closely. If the US abandons Taiwan, faith in American security guarantees collapses. Allies may arm themselves or seek accommodation with China. The entire Indo-Pacific security architecture could unravel in weeks. The Iran crisis becomes a global test of American resolve. The stakes, the future of US alliances, and the balance of power in Asia. The world order is on a knife's edge. The fallout lands on American kitchen tables: soaring inflation, lost savings, mass layoffs. The social fabric is tested, political polarization intensifies. The crisis exposes deep divisions and forces a reckoning with America's global role. Is the cost of being the world's policeman too high? Yet crisis can be a catalyst, a Sputnik moment for the 21st century. America could respond with renewed focus on education, technology, and rebuilding its industrial base. The challenge could spark an American renaissance, forging new leadership based on innovation and ideals. The path forward is hard, but decline is unthinkable. The new world order is here. The only question is whether America can rise to meet it. The future is being written now, in the Gulf and in the American spirit.